Your computer was fast on the first day, booted quickly, applications opened without pause. Everything responded before you had finished thinking about what you wanted. 18 months later, the same machine feels like wading through mud. Nothing changed in the hardware. What changed? The answer is not one thing. It is several things accumulating simultaneously, and understanding them tells you something important about how software and computers actually work. The first culprit is startup programs. When you install new software, a surprising number of applications quietly add themselves to the list of programs that launched when your computer starts. Antivirus software, music apps, cloud sync tools, update managers, browser assistants, communication apps waiting for messages. On day one, you had a handful. After 2 years of installing things, you may have 30 or 40. Every one of them starts when your computer does. They consume memory, processing power, and network bandwidth, all at the exact moment you need those resources most. The machine is not slower because it is tired. It is slower because it is doing far more work than it was on day one. The second culprit is software itself. Software does not stay still. Applications update continuously, and updates rarely make software leaner. They add features, layers of compatibility, new interfaces, and additional background processes. The word processor that ran cleanly in 2020 may be significantly more demanding by 2026, using more memory and more processing power for the same task, simply because developers added things. This is sometimes called software bloat. The underlying hardware has not changed, but the software's demands have grown to fill whatever capacity exists. The third culprit on older spinning hard drives is fragmentation. When a file is saved, it goes wherever space is available on the physical disk. Over time, files get broken into fragments stored in different physical locations. When the drive needs to read a file, the read head has to physically travel to multiple spots. That takes time. Solid-state drives, which have no moving parts, do not have this problem in the same way. But if your machine still uses a traditional hard disk, fragmentation genuinely degrades performance, and periodic defragmentation actually helps. The fourth culprit is heat. Modern processors protect themselves from damage by slowing down when they get too hot. This is called thermal throttling. Dust accumulates in vents over time. Cooling fans become less efficient. The thermal paste between the processor and its heatsink degrades. A machine that ran cool in year 1 may run significantly hotter in year 3. And a processor running hot is a processor deliberately limiting its own speed to avoid burning out. So what can you actually do? Clearing startup programs is one of the highest impact actions available to most users. On Windows, the Task Manager shows you exactly what launches at startup and lets you disable individual items. Removing programs you no longer use has a similar effect. Cleaning dust from vents and fans, carefully, with compressed air, can meaningfully reduce temperatures and restore thermal performance. On a traditional hard disk, defragmentation is a built-in Windows tool and can show measurable improvement on older machines. What tends not to help is the advice that gets repeated most often. Restarting your computer, while genuinely useful for clearing temporary files and application state, is not a solution to long-term slowdown. Clearing the browser cache, deleting desktop shortcuts, or running generic cleanup tools from third-party software companies rarely addresses the underlying causes. The machine is slow because software has grown to consume what hardware has available, because background processes have multiplied, and because physical components, fans, thermal paste, hard drives, have degraded. The fixes match those causes. Your computer is not simply aging. It is carrying more than it was asked to carry on day 1, and most of what is making it slow is, with some effort, removable. Now you know.